Okay guys, I'm back, and I was just thinking about this really creepy story that I experienced when I was a kid, and I wanted to share it with you guys because it was like really weird. When I was a kid, I lived in a really old farmhouse that my dad grew up in, and this is in Stoughton, Wisconsin, and I had my own room, and I had gone to bed, and my lights were off, but the hall light was on, and my door was open, so the light was in. And my sister's down the hall, sleeping in her bed, and I had closed my eyes, and while I was asleep, or not asleep, but while I had my eyes closed, I felt like this sensation right here, and I've Googled this a lot since that incident, and Google wasn't really around when I was a kid, but it's just like a sensation. And for those of you who have experienced this kind of thing before, you'll know what I'm talking about. But if you have not experienced it, it really doesn't make any sense. But it's that sensation where, like, if you have your eyes closed, then you hold a pencil, like the leaded tip of a pencil, up to, like, between your eyes, right here, right there. You can sense that it's there. And I know that doesn't make any sense to a lot of people, but I don't know, like, that's really all, like, it's almost like you can feel, like, the blood flowing. Anyway, so I felt that, but it was like a creepy feeling, like not it was just really, like, I had a sense of panic and fear. And so, like, I opened my eyes just like a little bit because I just had this feeling that something was over me. And so I'm laying down, so I had this feeling like there's something over me. And what I saw when I opened my eyes, like, and I was trying to, like, breathe, like, really slowly so that whatever was above me would not know that I saw it, if that makes sense. And oh my god, like, it was so scary. It was like this black, not like smoke, but like a dense black mass. And I laid there, like, I don't know how long I laid there, but I was panicking, and I was so scared, and it probably was like a foot above me, and it was just, I don't know, like, it was just so creepy. And I was like frozen. Like, I wanted to call for my sister, and I'm sorry I keep saying like, I was just trying to, like, think about, like, how it was. And so I wanted to call for my sister, but I was frozen. I was so scared, and I didn't want it to know that I was there, even though it was, you know, like, hovering above me, so whatever that means. But finally, I just couldn't take it anymore, and I screamed for my sister, and she comes running in, but, like, in between that time of me screaming and her coming into the room, it just kind of, like, dissolved. And so I was telling somebody that story, and then I was driving home, and I called my sister, and I was like, hey, Dagny, do you remember that time that this happened? Isn't that weird? She's like, oh yeah, I used to, and I didn't remember this part, but she's like, oh yeah, you used to have those kind of things happen to you all the time. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And she's like, well, don't you remember, like, when you would be, like, laying in bed and something would be, like, touching your legs and pulling on them? And I'm like, what? And when she said that, like, I started to remember, but I think I just, like, blocked it out of my mind and just, like, didn't want to think about it or something. But when she said that, I remembered, like, I would be laying in bed, and this is, you know, like, probably around the same time, and it would feel like something, you know, was, like, doing, like, this on my leg, though, like just a little bit of pressure. And nothing ever happened. That's all it was, you know. I mean, I think the mass or whatever that was over me was probably the scariest thing. But and then also, like, okay, so my dad died when I was 16, and he had multiple sclerosis, and when he died on a weekend, and I remember, like, I knew something wasn't right. And I had gone to bed, or actually I guess I didn't go to bed. I had gone up to my room, and I had this feeling that something was, like, not right. And I stayed up and watched TV, like, almost all night long. And I was too scared to go downstairs for some reason. And I had this feeling, like, I can't, like, nervous feeling. And there was a Stephen King marathon going on. And so I stayed up, like, all night watching that. And normally I would have gone downstairs and watched it with my dad, because my dad was a huge Stephen King fan. But like I said, I had that nervous feeling that I didn't want to. Something was wrong. And then the next morning, my stepmom came up and said that my dad had died during the night. And I wasn't surprised. Even though he had MS, it's, like, not really, like, it wasn't like he was, like, about to die and it was obvious. So that was just kind of weird. And then as I got older, and, you know, the internet starts it's easier to search for stuff, I guess, on the internet. And so I would, like, search for these things, like, you know, experiences and stuff. And sure, of course, if you look for something, you're going to find it when it comes to that, you know, like, clairvoyant stuff, whatever you want to call it. And that's fine. You can be skeptical. I don't really care. Like, that's your problem. But I wish that I was able to hone it in a little bit better, because it is interesting to me to have those sensations. And I mean, I'm not really, like, a religious person. I don't necessarily believe in the Christian Bible or really anything like that. Organized religion, I think, is all just fake. And if you need to rely on another human to get your information about God, then likely you're putting your faith in the wrong people. But not to knock anyone's religion, but I just think it's just wrong. But I mean, my experiences that I've had would make me think that there is something out there, and I don't know, like, I know that other people have had it. So if you've had those kind of sensations, I really am curious if other people can feel, like, when somebody puts something, if they close their eyes and somebody puts something, like, right here, like, in particular, like a sharpened leaded pencil, or maybe not, it doesn't really actually have lead in it anymore, but you know what I mean. If you try that, if you can feel it, or have your friend do it, like, you just hold the pencil right here and you can feel it even without, like, you can just sense that it's there. Your eyes are closed and you can sense that it's there. I'm curious if other people have that feeling, because for me it's really strong, and I just thought it had something to do with body chemistry, but apparently that's, like, I don't know, like, I've Googled it. Maybe I should Google it a little bit more. I don't really take it all that seriously, because I feel like, I don't know if I can develop the skill, but if I could, that'd be kind of cool. But I don't know, unleash the doors of hell. But anyway, yeah. So tell me if you can sense that, like, if that's something that you can feel. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to share that creepy ghost story from my childhood, and I know a lot of us have them, and that's cool. And I kind of want to hear yours, because I don't know, like, if you believe and if you've actually seen those kind of things and people are skeptical when you tell them, I won't be, because You know, some people I know they're just like full of crap, but you can tell when someone's real, I guess. So anyway, let me hear your story. Okay, take care, guys.